Our original plan was to go and stay in Sasebo in the southern part of Japan and then spend a day trip here at Nagasaki. But at the very last minute, we just said, nope, we've got to spend more time here. So we literally cancelled all our plans in Sasebo to stay here. Why it's an intriguing town? There's the obvious. 3 days after Hiroshima, the bomb dropped here. And as you can see, we're in the Peace Park with one of the most famous symbols of all. But Nagasaki is so much more than that. The name itself means long cape. It's a port. It's beautiful. It's got a mountain. And we decided we needed to literally stay here in order to absorb the energy of this fascinating city. We might be neatly packed, but these bags are heavy. Landed in Nagasaki, and this time we seem to be in what I would definitely call, hopefully anyway, a modern hotel. So along with our baggage, let's go and find out more. It's a corner unit room. And by Japanese standards, actually this is quite big, rather nice actually. What's behind the curtain? Oh, that's nice. Nagasaki. In panorama. Huh. Bigger than I thought. This, the Remembrance Hall, is probably the emotional nerve center of everything here at the Nagasaki Peace Park. It's an exquisite creation of glass and water up above me, and it's all designed to focus on one tower. And in that tower, they've recorded all the names of the victims of the bombing, and people come to pay their respects. I was really keen to come and see this tiny little bit of land that we're standing on, sort of in the Nagasaki area, right on what used to be the Horn. For we are on or in Dejima. Used to be an island. It was an artificially created island from years ago, used to house the Portuguese in the time. And then the Dutch East Indian Company, and that's what fascinates me, because at a similar time that we got the Dutch East Indian Company in Cape Town in South Africa, they were here. And the Dutch then occupied Dejima Island. And they were the only people allowed to do trade with then Japan. And it was basically a 200 period where Japan was not doing business with anybody else in the world except for the Dutch, which is a fascinating thought. Then it changed, and during a period of time, the island was sort of joined to the mainland, and it became linked in, no longer an island, but somehow kept as a nod to a fascinating time in the history of Japan, and certainly of Nagasaki. Everything in Japan is measured according to mat size, tatami mats. Particularly we're talking about rooms and residences, and they do it even now. So this big entertainment room in Dejima is 35 mats big. By contrast, this room is a 15-mat room.
So after all that, we were brought to the right bus stop, which we definitely got on, and our help from our lovely new friend, Eddie Cohen. And now we are sitting there. It's early in tumbling dark night, waiting for a bus that we think is going to arrive and take us up to the cable car so we can get a night view of Nagasaki.
The rules here are very strict. Cannot move until you're told. Now we have to line up. And this is just a shuttle. He's in trouble again. Back in another Ferris wheel. The Japanese seem to really like their Ferris wheels, and this one is high over Nagasaki, which is amazing. And again, like that other one we went to in Osaka, I think it was, this one is inside a shopping mall. Mad, you walk through a bookshop and here you are. But we could never resist a Ferris wheel. So here we are looking at Nagasaki.
En hop on, hop off bus and a tall tower.
Yeah, we can't resist hop on, hop off buses, and we can't resist tall towers. So today it's the Ferris wheel day. We had to come and have a look at this before we leave Nagasaki. This bridge goes right back to 1634, and it's called Megani Bashi, Bashi being the word for bridge. But its colloquial term is spectacle bridge, because in most of the day the reflection is such you get sort of complete circles, one on either side of them, which looks like spectacles. All of those rocks that are being put in as a retaining wall are part of the attraction. For somewhere in amongst those rocks they have put a few heart-shaped rocks deliberately. And I think that's the perfect way to look at Nagasaki, with all that it's been through, all the horror and its place in history. You kind of look at it in a way that it becomes the city you remember as a place with beauty and a place with heart. Yeah, I like that. We're fascinated as to how safe everywhere is actually in Japan, and it's quite late at night. And chatting away on this bench right next to the river in the open kind of walkway are two ladies of not a young age, shall we call them fellow Geri-Antics. Quite happy, quite safe. Chinatown. We're in the Shinchi district of Nagasaki, and Chinatown is one of the areas that is part of the attraction, so we thought we'd go and have a look for ourselves. What, don't tell me, full as well? Full.
Full as well.
Full.
Yeah.
This is the story of our lives in Japan. It's amazing. It's normally last orders at about, 8 o'clock? And by 8:30, everybody's packed up and gone home. This is not a late night society, and it's not just Nagasaki. It's everywhere we go. On my right are a whole bunch of tourists talking an absolute storm, in the nicest way possible. On my left, Japanese people, very quiet, silently on their phones. It's exactly how it is in this country. We've decided that the best cars, the cute cars, are more like pugs than anything else. You've got the normal car, but most of them running around have got no nose and no bum, so they can fit into the tiniest of spaces. Another one of our bulldog dogs, pug cars. No nose, Schnoz is all squashed up and no bum. Perfect for parking conditions around here. In our hotel foyer, this beautiful art exhibit brings together two things of Nagasaki. One is Spectacles Bridge, and the other is this very poignant sort of symbolism of the atomic bombing, particularly the one in Hiroshima, for these are the cranes that Sadako made. 1,000 cranes, an effort to prolong her life after the bombing. And it's become the symbol of everything related to that horrible series of events.